how you doing? This is TV and school. Вивчаємо з тобою ми англійську. How are you? Що скажеш, коли ти зустрінеш якогось іноземця? So, let's speak English. Англійська мова Шекспіра та нью-йоркських таксистів. Англійська стане у нагоді вам войські дівчиська.
Hello again. Here we are with you, Oksana Ivanenko and Mr. Paul Lowe, together for the school life in year 5.
Hello, year 5.
Right, so last lesson we've been talking about how good are you at the studies, and we did a quiz, and I hope we gave you the food for thought. Right?
Good phrase, food for thought.
Right, that's the good phrase. Will you try and explain what it means for our students?
So, like food nourishes your body, and this thought nourishes your brain.
Right, exactly. So we hope that we gave you something to think about based on the results of our quiz. And maybe after having the results of this quiz, you will want to become a better student yourself. Today, we are moving on and we'll be talking on the unusual schools around the world. You won't believe, but there are so many, even weird, institutions that teach their students absolutely abnormal things. Which means not normal, not usual. Can you guess what schools we are going to be talking about today?
Maybe there's some schools that are like teaching skills that you don't use in school, outside of school skills.
Maybe. Any other ideas?
Maybe there's some schools like some acting schools, so you can be an actor.
Yeah, that could be. And also, I'll give you a hint. These schools sometimes deal with the unusual location. Like, have you already thought of the schools on Mars? No, not yet. We are not ready to start them yet. I guess Elon Musk is still working on that project. Okay, let's start then. Before we proceed to our lesson topic, I'd like us to have a nice activity. This is the top 5 list. Sometimes the psychologists tell us, why don't you make the list of pluses and minuses to decide if the idea is good or bad? And now I know that being an evening person, remember, I am an owl person. I don't like mornings at all. I want to sleep. And here is my top 5 list.
That's why it's on your side of the board, and this one for me, who likes to get out of bed, is on this side of the board.
Sure, you cracked me.
Yeah.
Okay, so 5 reasons, my reasons, to stay in bed in the morning. So, you know, I'm a teacher, I love my job, but waking up, getting ready, making breakfast, going in traffic, that's the huge stress for me. So, it's a school day, and that's the great reason for me to stay in bed longer. I don't want to go into the traffic.
But for me, I have 5 reasons to get out of bed. Because it's a school day, the number 1 reason to get out of bed. And I have no problem with traffic because I get up extra early because I'm so excited to go to school. I want to get to school first and early. So there's no traffic when I go very early in the morning.
Oh, I wish I had the same situation. So my second reason to stay in bed is, I haven't studied for history. But that's a secret. Don't tell it anyone.
History, one of my favorite subjects. When you study history, you learn about dates and famous battles, and you always learn a lesson from the mistakes people made in history before you.
Right. And my reason number 3 is, it's the fish day at school. I hate fish. No, don't like it at all.
Oh, at my school, school dinners are amazing every day, but when it's a brownie day, That's the most important reason to go to school. Brownies.
Lucky you. Reason number 4 for me to stay in bed is my friend has got sick and isn't coming to school. Who am I going to talk to?
Oh, my friend may be sick, but that doesn't matter because after school I'm going to rush to their house and tell them about everything I learnt.
Oh, that's the very great reason to go to school. And one more reason. It's raining outside.
But when it's raining and sunshine, you see a rainbow. So I can go out, see the rainbow, and try to find the pot of gold that's at the end of every rainbow.
Right. Do you remember? That's about the St. Patrick's Day. We learned about that in our previous classes. Right, Mr. Paul, you're so positive and enthusiastic in the mornings. I wish I were at least half as positive as you are.
But Miss Oksana, I wish I was as energetic as you in the evening because after 4, 5, 6 or 7, I'm so tired.
Oh my, that's the most productive part of the day for me. Okay, guys, you see, that's a very nice way to decide whether you need to do it or not. You can have a look at all of the sad reasons that tell you not do it, don't do it, and on the contrary,
You can look at my 5 inspiring reasons to get out of bed and go to school.
exactly. And I am very sure that you will want to jump out of bed when you learn about the schools we've prepared for you today. Here are some hints for you, and will you try and crack the words that I've coded for you? Just in case you didn't get it, there are the pictures, and I'll tell you a hint. All of these words are written backwards. It means that they start not from the first letter, but from the very last. So, Mr. Paul, have you already understood which schools are we going to talk about today?
Yes, well, definitely the first 2 I've already read
Right.
the correct way. So I
Right.
can see the first one says magical. Magical.
Right, that's the magical school we are going to learn about today.
The second one says future.
Future school, was I wrong? Did Elon Musk build a school on Mars? We'll find out. Okay, what about the other 2?
Well, this one was a little bit difficult, but when I saw the picture, I understand that this is like about circus, so this is a clown school.
Right, exactly, that's a clown school. And the last one, a very unusual one.
This one, I've heard about this school. This is a boat school.
Right, this is the boat school. So, do you want to find out what are they? Let's go. And the first group of schools we are going to learn about is the magical schools. Do you see? There is not only one in the world. There are minimum 2 of them. Let's find out where they are and what do they teach their students. Mr. Paul, will you help us read?
Yes, of course, I will. Okay. There are different magical schools such as the Witch School, the Grey School of Wizardry in the USA, and the Elf School in Iceland. They teach students unusual things like making wands and horse whispering, elf history, and witch spells. Students even get certificates and become experts in their chosen field of study.
Whoa, I wonder where I could implement my knowledge in elf history.
Elf, so you're going to help Santa Claus?
Maybe find and hire the elves for the job, or being their representative and demand more presents for the kids. Yeah?
Good idea.
Right, that's it. Guys, did you understand what is making wands? Do you remember in Harry Potter, he has, or all of the students have that magical sticks.
And in,
That is
and in In English, when you have a wand, a magical wand, we have a phrase. I don't know if
What
it's
is
the same
it?
phrase in Ukrainian, but if you want to make some magic, you say abracadabra.
Yes, we had it. I guess, and sometimes we used it actually, this abracadabra.
Yeah.
Yes, this thing. So, right, when we make a wand, we make a magical stick to put the spells on. What about horse whispering?
I'm not even sure what this is, Oksana.
As far as I understood, this is the special trick when the magician tells something to the animal and they do these actions. That's as far as I understood. And the witch spells. Do you remember? For the Halloween, all the good witches have a big cauldron and then puts there some nasty frogs, right? Some unusual things, and then they start mixing it together and saying some words. So this is making the witch spell. When you want something to happen, you make it a spell. Am I right?
Yes, you can put us, but you can. Some people do good spells.
Yes. We'll not talk about the people who do the bad spells.
No.
No, not in this class. Okay. Right. And can you believe they even get the certificate? That's the document that proves that you are an expert in this field of study. Like, Mr. Paul, would you like to be, an elf expert?
It sounds interesting, but the one I prefer more would like to be a wizard, a wizardry, so I can put good spells on people and bring good luck to people.
Okay, I see. Probably I would try the witch school, you know. It appeals to me more. Okay, the next school we are going to talk about is the Philadelphia School of Future. So, this school is absolutely different from any other school in the world. So, it means that they are different from the traditional schools in every way. To begin with, they use a lottery. Can you believe it? To decide who will join their school. It's just the luck thing, right?
Maybe they have so many people who want to go, this is the way they do it.
Yeah, maybe. Then they do not have marks. They do not have grades. So, for example, the student in that school can't get 2 or 5 or 12 because they have their own system of grading and their marks start from not on the radar, which I guess means very low result, to advanced, which is superb. So, and students actually don't need any books, so they do not waste paper and they care about the environment because they use the computers, the laptops, the tablets, and special applications to study math. So, what do you think of this school?
I believe that there's some schools around the world already kind of like this future school.
Yes, I agree with you. But on the other hand, what do students do if they have no electricity? You see?
Make sure they charge the laptops the night before.
Yes, absolutely. Maybe sometimes the good old book is the best helper in studying. Who knows? We'll see when the time passes by. And the last school we are going to talk about today is...
These schools can be found in Bangladesh because twice a year floods when children cannot go to school. These schools have a computer, internet connection, a small library, and are run on solar batteries. This is the boat school in Bangladesh.
Right, that's a very interesting idea for having a school on a boat, but you see that that's not the kids' idea to attend this school. That's because of the weather conditions. And I'm sure that our smart 5-year-old remember what is a flood. So, a flood, I will just remind you, is затоплення when it rains a lot and the area around you gets covered in water. It's like you are in the river.
And Bangladesh is one of the lowest lying countries in the world, and it's in the Bay of Bengal, which floods lots.
Do you remember? Mr. Paul is an expert in geography. Okay, so would you like to be a teacher in any of these schools?
To be honest, I think I would choose this one in Bangladesh because it's different, it's interesting, and most of all, you must be a very kind teacher to work in a boat in not good conditions, not good equipment. So I think this is more challenging, and challenges are good. Challenges are good to overcome.
Right. Challenging – це випробування. So Mr. Paul thinks that being in such conditions and challenging are improving your personality. Тобто, коли ви проходите випробування, ваша особистість лише від цього виграє. Okay, and right now we are going to have a very unusual task because we will have 3 students from different countries that attend one of the schools above. Mr. Paul Lowe will be so kind to read the students' messages, and we will need to decide which of the mentioned schools they attend. Now, let's revise the names of the school. So, the magical schools for witches, wizards, and elf experts, the Philadelphia School of the Future, where the students use computers and applications to study, and the Bangladesh Boat School, when students need to go on the boat to meet their teacher and get the knowledge. Now, let's have a look at the names of those 3. Okay, so here we go. We've got Jake, Kitty, and Andrew. And on the Mr. Paul's side, there are the pictures that will help you remember the schools that we've been discussing previously. So, Mr. Paul, will you please help our students to improve their listening skills and identify which school does each of the students go?
I do not often use books because I can always find the information I need on my laptop. When I have to write an essay in English, I use College Essay Writing Service. Also, it is great fun to create an interactive project and present it on a smartboard.
Okay, I guess we need to keep in mind the words no books, laptop, online essay writing service, and smartboard. So I guess that was an easy choice for you, and you got the name of the schools Jake goes to. So, Kitty.
Okay, Kitty. Our school is not usual because we do not learn traditional school subjects. Instead, we read Harry Potter during literacy lessons. And also, there are no classes in our school. We have 4 houses named after magical creatures.
Okay, so did you hear the main information? Harry Potter, no traditional classes, magical creatures. So the answer is obvious, I guess. And Andrew.
2 times a year, I can't go to school because everything around my home turns into a huge river. Can you believe that school comes to me? It's very nice because I can see my teacher and borrow some books from our small library to read.
Right, so it's an easy choice because you heard the words water, the school comes to the student, small library, chat to the teacher, and borrowing the books to read. Okay, now I will show you the answers and you will check if you were correct or not. So, Jake goes to Philadelphia School of the Future, Kitty attends the magical school, and Andrew goes to the boat school. I hope that all of you got your answers correctly, and we are moving on. Okay, guys, so today we will have a look at the phrases that are used at the start of the sentence to tell about location of a person or an object in some place. These phrases are there is for singular, which means one, or uncountable noun. Mr. Paul, let's remind our students what is an uncountable noun.
Okay, so example, water, sugar. Yeah, you need some other description in front of it, like a cup of water, 2 cubes of sugar. You can't just say 1 water, 6 water, 5 sugar. You have to say a cup or spoon. You have to say a describing word in front of the noun.
So, right, these are the things that we cannot actually count without introducing a special measurement, like a cup or a teaspoon or a kilo, whatever. So, remember, there is plus singular, which is one, or uncountable noun. As in the example, there is a magical school, one school, singular, in Iceland, or there is lots of information. The information is an uncountable noun. We can't count it. We need a piece of information or a byte of information, right, on the internet. The next one. There are is used with the plurals of countable nouns. So the objects that we can count, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, without any additional words. As in the example, there are many unusual schools around the world. So this is schools, we can count them. 1 school, 2 schools, 3 schools, and so on and so forth. Okay? Right now, we are going to check how well you understood this grammar phenomena and do some practice exercise. So it's not very difficult. Here we will have the positive sentences, the negative sentences with the negative particle not, like there isn't or there aren't, and the question sentence when we want to ask about the location of this or that object or person. The first one, lots of students in the which school? So we have lots of students, many of them, that will be the plural. So probably here we will need to use
The word are.
Right, so it will be there are. The next one, any uniform in our school, so we can wear what we want, like jeans and t-shirts, like they are, right? What do you think will
This
be
is
the...
negative,
Yes.
so there isn't.
There isn't because the uniform is uncountable. We can't count the uniform, right?
That's right.
Okay. Then the next one is the question. Many students in your ELF school?
So we start with the verb, so are there.
Right, are there. Number 4. Usual marks in our school, but funny phrases like not on the radar.
This is negative again, so there aren't.
Exactly.
Negative plural.
Right, and anything unusual about your school?
That again is a question, so we start with the verb, is there.
Okay, now let's have a look at the answers all together. Here we are. So, Mr. Paul, of course you were absolutely correct. Now, let's try and answer this question. Mr. Paul, is there anything unusual about the school you teach at the moment?
Well, it's closed because of coronavirus.
Right.
But unusual, we have very small classes, so we have like 8 to 10 students. So this is very good for learning, and we have lots of science lessons. So very interesting science lessons.
So it means you have a lot of experiments, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, guys, now the task for you is, why don't you think and try to answer this question yourself? What is unusual about your school? I'm sure that there is 1 or 2 things that differ your schools from all of the other schools around Ukraine. Think of it and write your answer. Thank you very much. Today we finish with our lesson. Thank you for being with us, Mr. Paul Lowe,
Thank you, Year 5. Bye.
And Oksana Іваненко. That was great pleasure to study together with you in Українська школа online. Bye-bye.